Broadway, listen to the Broadway beat. Broadway makes you wanna move your feet. Everybody's tapping into everything that's happening on Broadway beats. Broadway beats. Broadway beat.
Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for Broadway Beat. Grammy and Emmy Award winner Harry Connick Jr. is back on Broadway in director Michael Mayer's reconceived production of the Alan J. Lerner and Burton Lane musical On a Clear Day You Can See Forever, which features a new book by Peter Parnell at the St. James Theatre. And I am here on the red carpet at the Plaza Hotel to celebrate with the company.
On a clear day, rise and look around you. Too late now to forget your smile, the way we cling when we've danced a while. Too late now to forget and go on to someone new.
Well, the score is just, it's one of the classic scores. People love this score. They love these songs. And I felt like it's such a shame that no one does the show because it deprives us of the opportunity of hearing these songs in a context. So that's one of the things that really motivated me in the first place to try to reimagine this. And Peter had the idea of going to the royal wedding songs for Melinda's character, which is great because those songs are gems, each and every one of them. And Larry Yerman did these, I think, just brilliant arrangements of them. So
Michael Mayer came to me with the idea that unlike the original, which was about a woman who goes to see a doctor and then the doctor discovers she has a past life, he talked about what would it be like if there was a story of a man, a gay man, who then has a past life of a woman. And what that would do dramatically in being a story about essentially an impossible love triangle. For the fact that one is no longer alive and that a gay man who falls in love with the unavailable object of the straight doctor is not going to be able to, in a sense, consummate his love. And that doctor is trying through his own grief process, because of his own grief process, to touch back to something that he's lost in his own life. And falls in love with this woman who is not his wife but has similar qualities to what she had. That idea, which we then came up with, and I worked towards once we knew that yes, I thought that splitting of the genders could work, would be interesting. Then to figure out how that arc could be was a lot of the work that I did and that Michael and I did together. And it took a long time and many outlines and many, many drafts before we even got to the reading stage and the workshop stage. But it's still essentially an intimate story. It's not a huge cast for Broadway, but it's a large cast. But it's really the three characters that we mostly follow, I think.
Great. It's a part of a challenge because it's not your typical musical theater dance type show where there's big production numbers and then there's it was very important to me that I didn't want that to happen because I loved his book, Peter's book, so much, and I thought it was so important for me to try to tell the story with the movement and try not to stray from that. So for me, I wanted to do that and then to think of what the vocabulary, how these actors in this world moved, what their movement was. And because that stage is filled with they're not dancers. They are actors, well, they are now. They're dancers, but they're actors, singers who move really well and pushing them and trying to find out what works on their bodies to make them feel free and happy and comfortable was a challenge for me. I was in the studio, okay, where does this vocabulary live for me? So that was a challenge, but then once I figured out, I thought that I found it, then putting it on them and watching how that they developed it was great. It was so exciting,
Wake up, bestir yourself. It's time that you disinter yourself. You've got a spot to fill, a pot to fill. And what a gift package of shower, sun, and love. You'll be met above everywhere with fondled and sniffed by millions who drift by. Life here is rosy if you're a posy. Hurry, it's lovely here.
I play Warren in the show, who is David's boyfriend, whom he has a little bit of trouble committing to. And luckily, David makes my job very easily because he's just a fantastic actor. And I mean, I have the best job in the world. I get to jump on a couch with Harry Connick Jr. and serenade one of the Broadway's new leading men. And I'm just pleased as punch.
And talk about the great score.
I play Muriel Bunsen, who is Davy Gamble's best friend and his confidant. And I feel like my role's a little like laughing. I jump on, I do my thing, and then jump on out in bright colored costumes. And I definitely, I don't know, I have fun. I have fun with my David.
This is a character any actor would kill to play. You get to go from point A to point double Z, around the alphabet twice. I mean, to be able to start innocent and happy and contented, to have the realization that your life is not full, and then to come full circle through the horror of betrayal back to self-possession. I mean, you want to play that, don't you? It's amazing.
I do, totally.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a great role, and that's thanks to Peter and Alan J. Lerner, you know.
Well, my role is entirely new to this version, so it's an interesting, it's sort of a conundrum because she has nothing to sing, because there are no songs, because this character didn't exist. So what I think is amazing that they've done is found a way for her to sing by finding stuff in Open Your Eyes, which is of course new to the show, and Who Is There Among Us, which was not written for this character, but that we have are using as a book song. I think that's great. And then the quartet version of She Wasn't You, which is a real thrill for the four of us to get to sing together. So I think Peter's done a really great job of finding a character that speaks what the audience is often thinking, about Mark and what he's doing, and saying, what are you thinking? I don't know what you're doing, and I think that's part of why the character works so much, because I frequently say what the audience is thinking. But I think I think she's a great, smart lady, and I enjoy playing her.
My day can be a royal board. I'm colder than a basement floor. The more I'm waiting for is when the day will be through. Every single night, every night. People say that I hardly hear. The hours are in the sea. Until at last I'm alone with you. And the others say it's every time the same thing happens. Same thing happens again. Like number seven, I got it, and I forward to get it right. Only with you. That is with you.
I mean, to sing these kind of songs every night by, Burton Lane and Alan J. Lerner, it's like the kind of stuff I grew up on. It's like a classic musical again is reborn, and it's so exciting. I just love it. It's
Working with Michael Mayer.
He is so smart. He is so smart in what he's created and how he reconceived this. And you know what I mean? He trusted us. He trusted me. I know he took a big chance on me, and I can't say enough good things about him. He's good in my book, yeah.
So what's been the best part of the experience with leading up to tonight?
Oh, best part of the experience? I had a moment in the curtain call the other day, because we take our bow and then we end up singing another chorus of On a Clear Day, and I just sort of looked to my right and I looked to my left. Harry Connick's on my right, Carrie O'Malley's on my left, and I looked out. I was like, this is really happening. This is amazing, and I just feel so blessed and grateful. It's amazing, yeah.
That's history. Those are two of the greatest leading ladies Broadway's ever seen, and they're meeting for the first time. Jessie Mueller and Kelli O'Hara. And I've worked with both of them. Well, Mark Bruckner has got a lot of stuff on his plate, and to watch him kind of spiral down and basically undergo a psychotic breakdown is pretty intense, and to have people not throw things at me at the end of the show for what I did to this poor kid is, not to give anything away, but it's pretty astounding that anybody even likes me when I'm done with the show. It's a very complicated thing to have to do, and I feel so honored that Michael and everybody else involved, trusted me enough to to think that I could do that. So I feel really blessed.
Do you think this is one of the hardest roles you've ever done?
Oh yeah, this is the hardest role I've ever done, by far. Not only because of the content of the character and the script, but because of the frequency of it. You know, doing it 8 times a week it's like getting in the ring, you know, with a heavyweight fighter every night. You know, you come out of there feeling like, whoa, that was a lot, you know. So I think in many ways it's the most complex thing I've ever done.